Hi, friends. I hope you're doing well. It is a Monday. It is March 27th. And by the way, my mom's birthday today. So I'm taking her out for dinner later on today. And I hope that you are doing well. So if you're watching, happy birthday, Mom. I'll see you later on. So I am back, and I am back from an amazing experience along the Danube River. You all know that I am a big fan of ocean cruising, and I love that you are going to be joining with me on so many new ocean cruises that I have coming up in this year, in 2024, and now expanding the calendar into 2025. But now I'm excited to add some river cruises to the mix. This was my first experience on the river, and I will tell you, it is not going to be my last. I loved it so much that I am inviting you to come along. Now, you might be familiar with my calendar and that I have a river cruise going on the Rhine River, and that is in May. And of course, I will be bringing you some great content and some live updates from the Rhine River, and that is coming up in May. But I just came back from the Danube, and once again, I loved it so much that I want you to come along with me, and we are launching a brand new Melodies of the Danube cruise, and that is going to be in October 14th. 2023. And how do you join with? Well, of course, you email me at sailwithseth@gmail.com, and I've got special promotions for the first 5 people that are going to be signing up for this tour. Now, what is the tour all about? What did you do? Who did you see? We've got all the answers for you coming up here in just a bit. But I want to bring in my good friend, and this is Janet Bava from AMA Waterways. Janet, mwah, mwah, mwah. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Seth's followers. We are so excited. Oh my God, Seth. I miss you already.
I miss you. And I will tell you that Janet and I had an incredible time with other travel advisors from all across the country, really all across the world. Yes. We had such a great time at the expo. I learned so much about the different brands that are out there on river cruises, including AMA Waterways. And AMA Waterways, we did on the AMA Viola an incredible week-long trip on the Danube. I know that you have done many river cruises, but I will say this one is hard to top, Janet.
Absolutely. And I also have done a lot of ocean cruises in my lifetime. And I just knew once you sailed along the rivers with AMA Waterways, Seth, that you were going to do something very special for those of you who like to sail with Seth. And so I'm so excited that we have this opportunity this year in October to do it all over again with your people.
I know it's going to be so much fun. So Janet, tell us a little bit about, first of all, before I show a video of what from everything I saw, just a little glimpse of what I saw. I could make a 25-minute video, but I've kind of compressed it down to just a couple of minutes. But tell us what AMA Waterways is all about, and also tell us what the Danube River and AMA Viola is all about.
Yes, absolutely. So, it's really, truly special to be able to unpack once and experience 4 amazing country, possibly 5, and we'll tell you all about that in just one second, through a luxurious boutique hotel that floats along the Danube River. You have an amazing staff that's going to cater to you. The ship is an extension of the destination because they're going to prepare the most amazing culinary experiences from the regions we sail through. So AMA Waterways, with AMA Waterways, everything is included, from your shore excursions, your Wi-Fi, the meals on board, unlimited wine during lunch and dinner, bicycle tours. So this is a truly comprehensive vacation so that you don't have to worry about a thing. Just pack your bags and come and allow us to show you the beautiful regions, the grand capitals like Vienna, Budapest, and Bratislava, or the smaller towns and regions like Passau and Vilshofen in Bavaria, Germany. So these lesser known towns in Europe and these grand capitals that should be on your bucket list.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I will tell you what, I didn't even know about some of these places, and I can't wait to go back. In fact, I want to take you along for the ride right now. This is just a couple of minutes, so I want you to tune in here and see all of the fun and the scenery. There's a lot more that I could have added to this, but just a little taste of what I experienced on the Danube on the gorgeous AMA Viola. Take a look.
No, you can. Yes, I can. No.
Edelweiss, every morning you greet me.
Hey everyone, I'm Jackie Friedman, and I'm the godmother of this beautiful ship, the Ama Viola. I am so excited that you're going to have an opportunity to sail with Seth along the Danube River. You'll visit magical ports and have amazing experiences on board. I can't wait to hear all about it.
I mean, just a little bit of a glimpse of what we saw. I will tell you that this is full of videos, and I'm going to put together a whole longer thing, and I'll put it on my YouTube channel. But I am telling you what. Oh, by the way, do you like my shirt?
I love your Ama Viola shirt.
Ama Viola shirt. I stopped by the little gift shop on board. My Ama Viola shirt. I am telling you what. It was amazing. What really caught my eye on a river cruise is that it is so immersive. And the executive vice president, Christine, of your company, said it best. And it kind of gives me chills when I say it, is that ocean cruising takes you to a country. And this isn't saying anything bad about it, but an ocean cruise takes you to a country. A river cruise takes you through a country. And I didn't realize that until I was actually on board, because you dock right in the heart of the country. There are no tenders. There are no lines. It is you and 100+ of your friends on board, and you step off. And when you step off, you're right across the street from a grocery store, a drugstore, the most amazing
gelato.
I know, that is true. That is true. Here, I'm going to bring up our gelato picture here, and so there. This is Janet. Yep, having gelato.
Take me back.
And this is me having gelato.
Amazing.
Yes. So yeah, I am telling you what, it is really an incredible experience. What makes Ama Waterways different than the rest, Janet?
You know, I truly think it's the people. It is the staff. It's the crew that's going to welcome you on board, and they're going to become part of your cherished memories. I mean, we have so many memories that we've taken back, right, Seth? But we're going to create new memories with you on board. The culinary cuisine, all the food is locally sourced. We don't have freezers on board. So the dining experience is exquisite. Fresh fish, fresh meat, fresh vegetables, and the wine is superb because they're locally sourced from the regions we sail through. So there's no sulfate like the wines, European wines, when you purchase them in America and you drink them in America, and sometimes when you drink too much, you have a headache the next day. I promise you, these wines will not give you a headache. And you're going to indulge in so much amazing food. Also, the included excursions really sets Ama Waterways apart. There's so many choices when you get to the destinations. And I can tell you that you're just going to, the biggest issue is trying to decide what you're going to do on that day. Am I going to take a bicycle tour around the city of Vienna? Am I going to go and hike the castle in Bratislava? Or am I going to do a walking tour and take lots of pictures so that I could bring back home the memories through the camera?
I also want to point out to you that there is no doubt it is going to be a go, go, go type of thing, but you can make it that you don't have to go, go, go kind of thing. But I also want to express to you that for those of you who are concerned that it might be too much walking, that it might be too active for me, AMA Waterways breaks it down to 3 different tours. They have an easy tour, which basically, if there are any kind of inclines, they take you by van or by bus, depending on the size, and they take you to the highest of the peaks or the highest point of the city, where then you can have a flat surface. Then a regular tour, which is exactly what it says. You can go up a little bit of an incline, you can walk a little bit longer, and then there's the more active tours, and I did all 3. And the active tours kind of is the same walking tour as the regular, but they just add on a little bit more. So you are actively at a fast pace type of walking. There are no rest stops. There are no places to really, you just keep going, going, going. So that's what I love about it. And I know that you did the active tours, which is the hikes.
Yes.
I didn't do the hikes. I did not do the hike. But Janet, tell us about those.
You know, it really is about exploring the cities, these beautiful cities. Imagine going up and visiting, you know, Fisherman's Wharf in Budapest and looking at the entire down into the city. So you're just hiking up a castle. And so it is the same exact tour that our gentle walking tour has. Instead, that group of people who wanted a slower paced tour gets taken up on a bus. But us more active, I do a lot of eating on board. So I make up for that by hiking. And so I make sure that those calories on board don't count. And I just do something.
I love that. And Janet was like, we were have dinner together, and Janet's like, I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have, let's bring a pizza to the table. I'm like, really? And she's like, we're going to walk it off tomorrow.
Yes. We have an always
wedges.
Available menu. So I wanted to make sure, you know, we have the chef's recommendation, we have other options, and the recommendations change every day depending on the destination that we're in. You may have schnitzel in Vienna, goulash in Budapest from Hungary. And so I wanted to make sure, I didn't want to miss out on anything, Seth. And so I wanted to order food as possible and have everybody, you know, eating all the different food options.
And it was probably halfway through the cruise, I didn't even realize that you can get a pizza up on deck. Just like, hey, I want a pizza. And Janet's like, we're getting you a pizza. And I want you to try it. And it's great. And you can have fresh arugula, and you can have all of this stuff. And it really is. It's an incredible trip. So let's go ahead and talk about
like you said, do nothing at all.
Do nothing at all.
Balcony and just see, you know, there's so much to see. SEE, you know, and you saw how close these castles in your video were to the ship, right? So as you're sailing through these countries, these destinations, you're seeing these beautiful sites go, you know, from town to villages to cities and grand capitals. Just the sites just change right before your eyes.
Right. And that's the best thing. And it was so, I want to say weird. It was different. It was different for me because it was like you saw land the entire time. There was no motion in the ocean because you're on a river. I mean, there is zero movement, friends. Zero movement. And you do see land. So when you wake up, I just reached over, I pulled off, and I looked at the side of the balcony. I was like, wow, this is incredible. And then it was the next port. And every single day is different. And that's what makes the Danube so special. So let's talk about this itinerary. It is October 14th through the 23rd. 7 of those nights are going to be on the river. And then we are adding 3 additional nights in Prague. Now, you start in Budapest, and that's where we were. And I could take you all around and show you exactly. I went to the market, and if you're into cooking, Hungarian paprika, I didn't even know it was a thing until I told people I was going to Hungary. And they said, bring me back paprika. So I brought half a suitcase full back for friends and family. And we make our way up the Danube to Bratislava, which is in Slovakia, and then Vienna. And then you have the option to cruise either from Dürnstein. So you could get off there and visit Dürnstein. And if you're into the Rieslings and you're into apricots and those kind of things, that's the heart of really where it is in Austria. Or you could stay on and go all the way to Grein. And I did that. And Janet did that as well. And then in Grein, we know the best gelato place. So I'll take you over there. I'll even buy you all gelato. How's that sound?
Yes.
And then we go to Linz, and then Passau, and then we end in Vilshofen, and then we stop in Regensburg, and then up to Prague, and that's where we end October 23. Now, you don't know this, Janet, but I have a cruise that is starting in Barcelona, and it's a transatlantic cruise that goes from Barcelona to Fort Lauderdale. And what a great way to, instead of just flying to Europe just to come back to America on a transatlantic, do this with me, and then we'll fly from Vienna to Barcelona and then come back the old-fashioned way on a transatlantic cruise. So it's really the best of both worlds. And if you do both, I'll certainly give you an extra savings. And we'll talk more about that here in just a bit. But talking about savings and talking about some of the extras that we are going to throw in here, you are going to receive the complimentary gratuities here. And thank you to Janet and her team for making this possible for my group. You are receiving an upgrade if it's available. And I know a lot of cruises do sell out. So if they're not, you will be upgraded to the next possible category. You're going to get a private chef's table experience. And that private chef's table experience, Janet, again, thank you for having, it's a specialty restaurant on board the ship. It's really, I don't want to say the best of the best because the dining room food is amazing too, but tell us a little bit about Chef's Table.
It's special. It's a 6-course meal that's going to be paired with amazing wines from the region. And it is truly spectacular to see the chef in the restaurant preparing your meal. Every single course it's brought up and displayed. But I really don't want to tell you too much about it. I want it to be a surprise and delight because I really, truly believe that you're going to be delighted by this experience. And Seth has said, if I'm bringing my group over, I want the entire Chef's Table for us. So this exclusive experience is just going to be you and the group of friends that you're bringing along.
And Janet said, I can make that happen. And that's exactly what I love. So thank you, thank you. And then Janet and her team are going to be giving us private seating at Oktoberfest, as well as more onboard surprises. And I will tell you that the surprises are endless. Plus, on top of that, we are going to be receiving 3 nights in Prague. So again, everything included here. And you guys don't have cruise directors. You have cruise managers. And those cruise managers are basically your concierge that travels with you throughout the entire thing. And
the tours are included there too.
Right. And that's what I want you to talk about.
So you have a 4-star amazing hotel in city center in Prague. So you're going to see spectacular regions of Prague. You're going to see, you're going to experience and taste amazing Czech beer, which is world-renowned Czech beer. Those that are the brands that you know well, and the smaller brands that you don't know about, they're going to become your favorite. So everything is included during this journey while you're going to be in the Czech Republic in Prague. Prague is absolutely beautiful, and this will be your 5th country to add to the list.
And that is truly amazing, Janet. When we talk about that, and we talk about 5 countries in less than 2 weeks, and you are not going to feel like bam, 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 bam. I mean, it is one of those things where you really get immersed. The onboard entertainment, there are no showrooms on board. There are no singers and dancers. But what AmaWaterways does is they bring on talent from the actual place that you're going to. So in the video I showed you, you heard opera, you heard different dances, you heard, so in Budapest, for example, you have an overnight there already on the ship. That night, before we set sail, in comes Hungarian dancers, and there you go. And that's your show for the evening. And then when you're in Germany, you have Oktoberfest, again, endless beer, pretzels, the whole thing. So the entertainment is very immersive, and that's something that I really took away from.
And I do want to say, for those that are going to be doing both the transatlantic and this river cruise, we have complimentary Wi-Fi that Seth has also, you make sure we always include Wi-Fi. But he's like, you know what? We have people who are still working remote. They have a hybrid schedule, so they want to be away for longer. So does your Wi-Fi work? Does it work, Seth? I think so. I think everybody can stay connected with work if they have to.
It works. And I'll also tell you this, my friends. When I was on board, I was working. And Janet knows, I was over there responding back to emails and doing my things and working on the 8-9 hour opposite time from the West Coast to Europe. And I will say that the Wi-Fi is fantastic. Again, because it's on the river, you've got land, you have the option to turn this on for cellular. You're always going to get, there's no cellular at sea where the charges are astronomical. This is the difference between the land and the ocean. Again, there is nothing. You know, my heart is on the ocean. There is no doubt. But my now heart belongs to the river as well. And really, that's what AMA Waterways is about. I do want to just get to a few questions, Janet. I know that you are swamped, and I can't thank you enough for doing this for me today, and encouraging our guests to come on board AMA Waterways. In fact, the AMA Viola. So you're walking in Seth's footsteps with Seth, because I can tell you everything there is now to know about this cruise. Martha's asking this one question. Does AMA Waterways offer any breaks for solo travelers? And before you answer this, I want to thank you for what you and your team are doing for me and my solo guests. If you select a river view cabin, so think ocean view, but river view, no balcony, you are receiving 125% single supplement. That is,
and thank
Janet,
you,
that's
because you said it when we were planning this out. You said, I have a lot of solo travelers like Martha, and the first question they're going to ask me is, I want to go, but it has to make sense for us solo travelers. So we have really made this in a way where, Martha, I hope you can join us in October. It is going to be a phenomenal experience for you, and there's going to be a lot of other solo travelers on board that you're going to get to meet and create cherished memories with.
Yeah, I can't thank you enough. And it's truly, and if you want a balcony, Janet says that's fine, but 150%. And it's amazing. And,
we won't charge
and I'm
you
glad that
doubles
you,
like others do.
Right.
We will not charge you doubles like others do. We will not.
And that's huge. And I'm so happy that you said that, because I am a huge advocate for my solos. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Barbara is saying, hi, Seth and Janet. As you know, Seth, handicap accessibility. Barbara does have a scooter. Tell me about that.
Yeah, you can bring your scooter, and we have one on board that we can rent for you, whatever is most convenient for you. But if you travel with your scooter, absolutely, we can accommodate. Our ships have scooters on board for those that are, need the accessible rooms and also the accessibility. So we have staff and crew. We have sailors on board that will be helping you, Barbara, not to worry. We have a charging station for your scooter as well. So we have an elevator as well to take you to the deck that's preferred. So absolutely, we have a lot of guests that do have some mobility challenges, and we will make sure to take care of you.
So I want to point that out, because Barbara, I would honestly suggest that you and Bob get a balcony room. That's a must, because unfortunately it's not accessible to the top deck. So you won't be able to get to the top deck on board this ship, because on all river cruises, the top deck is not accessible by elevator. And the reason is because the ship, and I'm not going to explain this correctly, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the ship kind of sinks in a bit so they can get under the bridges. So an elevator doesn't really sink in just a bit. And when I say sink, that's probably the wrong word to use on a boat or a ship, but it kind of compresses down just a little bit. So it does go under. I remember when I was on the top deck, 5:30 in the morning, I get up because I was so excited. I'm about 6'1", and one of the sailors comes running to me and says, Seth, get down just a little bit, and I'm like, okay. And it's truly amazing. But again, I will say for sure, it can get you to the restaurant, it gets you to the gym, it gets you to all the different places. So it certainly does well. Okay. So Prisby asks, do they have gluten-free food?
So absolutely. As soon as you arrive, you're going to have a meeting with our Major D and with our chef, and you're going to tell them any type of dietary restrictions, lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance. And we know, because we had a lot of friends that traveled with us that had their gluten-free bread. We have a baker on board, which will ensure that your menu items are moderated so that you can still enjoy all of the menus that are on board. So we do not have we love to cater to restricted dietary needs, lactose, gluten, whatever that may be. Any allergies that you may have, you let the staff know. And we don't have assigned seating. So every time you meet, the staff they have pictures literally of all of our guests and with what their restrictions are. So they start memorizing. And by the end of the cruise, your bread is being delivered before you even sit down to the table of choice.
It's so true. And this is not just words from Janet, because I was with we met. I was by myself. And so when I went by myself, this is going to be a surprise, but I'm not shy. And so I meet a bunch of people, and one gal, her name's Rita, and she's phenomenal and fantastic. and Rita has a gluten sensitivity.
Right.
So I didn't even know
lactose
this.
too.
And-
Yeah, and lactose.
And so I sit down with Rita, and all of a sudden she gets bread. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I have a gluten sensitivity. Every single time something came to the table, every time they reiterated to her, no gluten, no dairy, no gluten, no dairy. And this is the best part. On one day they had a dessert, and the dessert, they wanted to make sure she's right. So they went out to the store to get certain things so she could enjoy the dessert that was gluten-free.
The soup.
I mean, this is the
we
best.
made our special soups on board. So the soups were phenomenal. And yes, absolutely.
And they will go to the store, and that's the most amazing thing. And it was like, no, you don't have to. And they were like, no, we'll go shopping and make sure that it is all done for you. So I wanted to show one other comment here. And this was from, let me see here.
Now, while you're showing that up, I know I do have a hard stop in just 2 minutes, but I did want to tell everyone who's listening in right now that I truly believe that travel is a force of good in this world. Seth can also manage your air, your transfers. This is about experiencing something and not have to worrying about anything at all. You wanted to experience Europe, and you want to experience these destinations in a very easy, non-complicated way with the comforts of knowing that you're going to be taken care of. So please, this is an amazing opportunity, an amazing offer that Seth has, curated for you. And during our time on board, he was keen. He came in and on board the ship and said, wow, I am so impressed. And the fact that he was able, by the time he ended that sailing, have this offer already negotiated for you all. I really hope everyone that's, joined us here today and is going to be watching this afterwards will really take advantage of this opportunity. It's truly a once in a lifetime opportunity.
It certainly is. Janet, thank you so much. I know you are so packed today. Get to your next meeting. Thank you again. I'm sending love to you, and I really cannot wait to get back on the river. Yes, this is what they all do. Am I doing it right? Yes.
It is this is what Amma is about for you, and I cannot wait to welcome everyone on board and hear all about your amazing stories. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks so much, Janet. Bye. Bye, friends. So that was Janet, my friend there at Amma Waterways, and I will answer a couple more questions in absence of Janet, because she literally, you talk about a busy, busy woman. And I was like, can you please come on Monday? And she's like, I want to make this happen. So thank you. Sharon says, this river cruise sounds amazing. Love the idea of combining this cruise with the Barcelona cruise, which again is the transatlantic cruise. The prices on that are so low that it's cheaper than airfare. I'm not joking you. I'm not kidding. So from Barcelona back to the States for 14 days, it's less than the airfare that you're going to pay to go home from Europe. If you have the time, go ahead and combine that. But Sharon says the river cruise sounds amazing. I love the idea of combining this cruise with the Barcelona cruise. Janet, are there enrichment classes? There are enrichment classes on board. And I will also tell you this. They do bring on some lecturers, but you are in port and your enrichment comes from the tour guides that you are going to be with. So I say that because when you are out and about and you have your headset on, and everyone gets a headset in their room, you bring the headset and you are walking the steps that are hundreds and thousands of years old. We all know that Europe, it's an old place, right? So it's not like the United States or Canada where something comes up and it's like 1905 and you're like, wow, that's old. You're talking places that are 1312, 1211, 1450, 1610. You're walking down those same streets, you're going to those same buildings. So your enrichment really comes from the tours that you are on and the walking tours that you are on as well. And again, they separate it. So it's easy, regular, active, and then it goes on from there. Again, wheelchair friendly, yes. However, I do want to let everyone know that you won't be able to make it to the top deck, and that is with any river cruise line, not just Amma. Let me see if there are any other questions here that I can answer. Now, when it comes to pricing, and everyone's like, well, what's the price? What's the price? I don't want to give pricing out here because pricing changes. So I don't want you to watch this 2 months later, and then you will say, well, you said it was this. Unfortunately, I can't do that because that is an AMA policy, and that's a policy that I told Janet that I will stick with. But the pricing is right here, and I can give that to you, but you have to email me, and I want to talk to you about it on the phone. So I am going to personally call every single person that is going to want pricing. And if you want that, send me an email, okay? Email is salewithseth@gmail.com. Send me an email with your phone number, a good spot to call. I am going to work on this throughout the next few hours, so I will call you personally. With the first 5 people that sign up, you are going to get a special promotional fare. So with that said, is Janet has given me 5 coupons to apply to bookings. The first 5 bookings will receive those coupons. Again, because it's a different policy, I want to let you know, and there are single, there are double rates. So when it comes to cruising, it's not just a flat $5.99 or $9.99 or a $59.99. It's nothing like that. So unfortunately, I just can't give you the pricing here, but I can give you the pricing when you call me. And you're not wasting anyone's time, and you are not doing anything, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work for you. Ben says food available 20. Oh, hey, Ben. Ben, food is available 24/7. I will say that you are going to be so full that you really won't need that. But yes, food is available. If you want a snack in the middle of the night, then they will make you something in the middle of the night. They won't make you a steak, but they will give you some snacks. But really, you are going to be so tired in the morning or at night because of all the activity that you'll be doing. So it's not like an ocean cruise where there's 24/7 room service. It's not like that. They'll give you a couple snacks, but you will have a dinner, and then they will have a midnight snacks or something late, like a late night service snack. And then breakfast, light bites start at about 5 a.m. and continue on through about 10 a.m. Then they do serve multi-course breakfasts, lunch, and dinners. Okay. Kathy says, what might the weather be at that time? So that's a really good question. And the weather will be very similar to the weather I just experienced, which is a jacket. You need a jacket. It is cool. But what's going to happen is I was going along, and as I was going along, there wasn't many trees. There were, leaves on the trees, I will say, because, they're just coming into spring. Well, now it's going to be fall, and you will see trees, but you will see more of a beautiful spectacle because the trees will be changing. So the trees will be changing there. A lot of you have been asking me, what would you do for a room? Would you do a balcony or would you do a window? So this is my answer to that question. If you did a window room, you are basically looking at the water. Okay, so the water level is pretty much at your room. You are not in your room very often. If you are the type of person to actually sit on your balcony and watch the world go by, there's 100% to a balcony. And in many of the rooms, you have 2 balconies. You have a French balcony that you open up in sort of a mini living room type of atmosphere. And then you actually have a balcony. Some of the rooms have French balconies. So you just open up the door, it's a sliding glass door, and you have fresh air that's coming in. So what I will say to you is, if you are the type of guest who does not like to stay in their room very often, and you want to be out and about, and you want to sit up on the sun deck, and you want to just relax in the lounge, do a window room. That is where I have my solo specials. That's where I can get you 125% off. I begged Janet. I said, please, 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 can we go ahead and do this? And she said, yes, we can do this for your guests. Again, 125% is your single supplement. So Marianne says, we were in Salzburg in early November in the late 90s. It started out with fall weather, suddenly changed to early winter. It's a great point, Marianne. I mean, I know that we had I came home, but we did have some friends that went to Prague. And those that I met on board did just send a note from Prague saying it's 30 degrees and we have snowflakes. So, anything can go. But I will tell you, dressing in layers, dressing that onion, taking off those layers is really going to be key in that. Um, what cruise line from Barcelona? It's Royal Caribbean. And I will go ahead and let me see if I have that graphic up. I don't know if I do. Oh, I actually do. Okay, so this is, let me get your comment off of here. So it's on Symphony of the Seas, and this is on October 29th. So if you want to go back to back, I'll have some specials for you if you want to do a back to back. So basically, you would do the river cruise. We would then fly to Barcelona together, and then we would hit a couple of these different ports like Malaga, Seville, sea days for 9 days, and then Nassau. So it is on one of the biggest cruise ships. However, you're not going to get a lot of kids. So if you ever want to experience a large ship like this is the time to do it. And the reason I say that is because it is. It won't be filled with children. And again, I'm not saying anything bad about kids, but I'm just telling you that it tends to go kid-centric on a Caribbean voyage. And when you're on a transatlantic, it's not going to be that much. You won't have a lot of kids on board. So you could experience all that those ships have to offer without all of the, families and stuff on board. Okay. Let me see here. So, Julianne, I did see your comment here, and I will talk to Janet about this. If you are interested in this, please let me know and send me an email. Again, sailwithseth@gmail.com. Send me that email, and I will be able to go ahead and get you that information in regards to wheelchair access. Because I did see some people in wheelchairs. They do have an elevator on board, and they do have sailors. And what they mean by sailors is they have an entire crew that will be able to help. So if you are interested, please let me know. If you are just joining me, I do want to let you know that there are solo specials on board. There are specials, again, the first 5 guests who sign up for this sailing, the first 5 guests are going to receive an additional amount off of your cruise. And that is because Janet has given me those, but again, only for 5 of those guests. If we get a great response, Janet hasn't said no to me yet. I don't want to push I know Janet's very sweet and very nice. Maybe I can ask her for 10, but for right now I have 5 of the coupons. But if I get a good response, I'm going to go back to Janet and say, hey, I need 5 more. So we need to make this happen. We need to make this happen. And again, it is a fantastic, fantastic way of seeing Europe. That's what I loved so much about it. I love the way that you can actually see so much. So once again, before I leave you here, my friends, it is a sailing that takes you along the Danube River. We start in Budapest. We go to Bratislava in Slovakia, in Vienna. You do have an option to get off of the ship and go to Dürnstein. And all of these are complimentary excursions, friends. All of them are complimentary. And that is what is a great part of AMA Waterways. You do get off in Dürnstein. You can go ahead and see and then pick up the ship. They'll bus you back over to Grein. Grein's a small little village. You could do a castle hike. You could just take a stroll through town. That is actually where I went to an ATM, and they didn't even give me a surcharge, which I loved. So I'll show you the ATM that doesn't charge. It was the only ATM in all of Europe that I found, and I was like, wait a minute, this didn't charge me a surcharge. What? Wait, what? And then I had someone else try it, and they're like, no, sir. I'm like, this is amazing. So we'll make an ATM break, and then we go to Linz, and then Passau, Vilshofen, and then what we do is we get on the bus, we go to Regensburg, and then make our way up to Prague. Now, when we are in Linz, this is something else that I want to share with you. When we are in Linz, you're going to have 3 options, really, 3 options. One option is to go to Salzburg. And yes, it is really kind of going through the Sound of Music. So if you're into the Sound of Music, it is not a Sound of Music tour, but Salzburg is all about Sound of Music. On your way to Salzburg, you're going to stop in Mondsee, which is, I did not do this, but it is evidently the chapel of some sort that they got married in, blah, blah, blah. So you go there, and then you go to Salzburg for a few hours, and then you come back. Your second choice is to go to Český Krumlov. And Český Krumlov, again, when I show the map, look at where it says Czech Republic in green. Then it says Český Krumlov. That is a medieval town that is a UNESCO heritage site that you can take a bus to, and that's what I did. I went to Český Krumlov. I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely loved my time in Český Krumlov. It is so quaint. It is so cute. It is great. And then you come back. In addition, you can have the morning in Linz. So if you choose the Český Krumlov, you have the morning in Linz and then Český Krumlov in the afternoon. If you just want to see Linz and relax on board, you can do that too. Or you take the full day excursion, you skip Linz, and you go to Salzburg. So I just want to let everyone know that. I loved Český Krumlov, Prisby. I mean, I know that I just said it 100 times and you're probably making fun of me and saying, did you love it? But I loved it. I did. I absolutely loved it. So that is the itinerary here. Budapest, up through the Danube River. We get off in Vilshofen. Vilshofen is where we have our Oktoberfest celebration. And then the next morning we get up and then continue our journey to Prague. And that is Prague right there on a beautiful fall day. If you can see some of the leaves changing, that's kind of a retrospect of what you can experience here in Prague. Our cruise director, but the cruise manager, is going to follow us. So he is there, she is there to answer all of your questions throughout the entire cruise. Then what happens is you have that cruise manager on the bus with us through our excursions in Prague. So we have that excursion, we have that cruise manager the entire time. You will get to be best friends with that cruise manager, no doubt. Dragon was his name. He was my cruise manager. And he is one of the best, I heard, in the AMA fleet, but I heard that they are all incredible. And he will take us to Prague and he will showcase everything and he will be there and he will, if there will be no problems in the hotel because he'll take care of it. It's truly a one-stop shop. You go on, you don't have to think, and that's the best part of it. All right, we've been together almost 45 minutes, friends. And again, I do want to let you know that if you have any questions, if you do want to quote, please send me an email. It's sailwithseth@gmail.com. Sailwithseth@gmail.com. I haven't even put this trip up on my website yet because it just happened. I just got these numbers. And I want to share with you that information. So again, please let me know if you want to quote. I unfortunately, because of the policies, I can't quote them online here in a live presentation, but I am able to go ahead and give you that quote via email or via phone. I'd be more than happy to go ahead and go over things with you. And again, I've got my phone out and I'll be making some phone calls here. So again, please let me know, sailwithseth@gmail.com. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, friends. Have a great start to the work week, no matter where you're watching from. I'm so excited to share the Danube River and the European experience with you. And I do want to close things out by saying I also have a Christmas market cruise. So if this does not work for your schedule in October, I have a Christmas market cruise on the Main and Moselle River. That's going to go from Paris to Prague, and that is on Viking Cruises. And there I will have a live show about that next week. So that's Christmas markets. It's a whole nother beast. But if October doesn't work, then I do have information about the Christmas markets, and I will have that information on the website for our live show with my friends from there. That is going to be coming to you next week. All right. So take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Stay healthy, my friends. And we'll see you next time. Again, email me for a quote. sailwithseth@gmail.com. Bye for now.